Okay, just giving myself a check and such. Everything all good. Root beer. Yep. Guess we're on part 3 of this Halloween special. So yeah. So far so good. So hope you guys are enjoying this so far, and just going straight to the point. No intros, no something. Well, just you know what I mean.
Hey, you're the one who got scared by Monica earlier.
The girls all laugh at my expense as I let out a crow. She's never gonna let me live this one down. Touché.
Anyway, it's ghost story time, right?
Oh ho ho! Looks like, okay, I guess this one is my favorite one, considering that I have a fair share of stories. Like, well, aside from urban legends, shall we talk about creepypastas? Like, well, Sonic, I mean, all of you guys know about Sonic.exe, right? Or Sonic EXE, but, creepypastas, they can be so absurd and weird sometimes to the point where it still makes it creepy. Good times, good times.
I don't really know many ghost stories, to be honest. Sorry, but I looked on the internet to find some.
Oh, do tell Sayori, you definitely searched up some creepypastas like I do.
Most are super long, like this one, about what was it? Some kind of sleep experiment?
Oh. I know this one. It's the Russian sleep experiment.
Sayori, you're rambling. Oh, oops. Sorry, I'm new to telling scary stories. I'm curious though, guys. What sights or sounds scare you? I'll be honest with you. Silence scares me, especially after I've read a gripping horror story. Is it just me who finds reversed music really creepy?
Wait. Are you? Monica, are you thinking what I'm thinking? I think I kind of find it kind of creepy, but at the same time, not. My piano teacher showed me a few reversed pieces once. It just felt wrong to listen to, especially when there's vocals. You start hearing things that aren't there. I don't know. Come on, Natsuki, there has to be something out there that creeps you out. Ugh, he'll just laugh.
We won't. She's right, Natsuki. We all shared. What was it? What is it?
Natsuki averts her eyes, talking to the floor.
The noises that children's toys make. It's like when I'm home alone and I think of like a jack-in-a-box playing by itself. It'll creep you guys out too.
Now I'm with you. I've always found anything to do with children scary, especially in the dark. Oh yeah, the old classic children toys in the background, not just the jack-in-the-box, but also music maker with the winder, I think. Oh, it's the music box. Okay, that one's a classic. The sound of babies crying, for example. Normally it's annoying, but if I heard it in the dark and there was no one else around, I shiver.
Well, it's fitting you mentioned that, Finn. Don't you remember that argument we had on Halloween back when we were like 10?
No? Sayori, where's this going?
We're both on our way to a Halloween party. It was pretty quiet out, so you could hear everything. I heard the sound of a baby crying, but it wasn't coming from inside anyone's house or anything. There weren't many people on the streets either, and it definitely wasn't one of them. It was coming from down a dark alleyway.
A chill runs down my spine as I remember exactly what incident she's talking about.
I remember I wanted to go out and investigate. I was scared it was a toddler in danger. But you didn't let me. You were too chicken to...
Hey!
Okay, we were just in a rush. But anyway, pretty creepy, right? I guess I can kinda see what you mean about babies crying being creepy. I was a bit scared myself. Looking back, I'm glad you convinced me not to go.
Yeah, it's best that way because we're still young and we don't know what we'll run ourselves into. I guess being a wimp has its perks, huh? Sayori, and Natsuki all share a laugh. Monica, however, looks like she's been slapped in the face.
Guys, do you not realize how lucky you were? Eh? Oh, Glob, you guys have no idea.
What?
Sayori, did anything seem a bit off about that baby's cry?
Sayori scrunches up her face in an attempt to recall.
No, not really. Well, it did sound a bit repetitive, though. Like, the cries didn't change much.
Monica's voice shakes as she replies.
Guys, that's what serial killers do to lure out young women.
I can't help but burst out laughing. Bruh. What, pretend to be babies? Come on, Monica, you had me going for a second there, but you kinda ruined the punchline. She looks straight into my eyes.
No, Finn. They record a clip of a baby's cries and hide the speaker in a dark place. They prey on women's maternal instincts because they know they're attracted to the sounds of infants in distress.
The laughter dies on my lips as a cold, sickening silence takes its place. Oh my god.
That's why the cries didn't sound natural. They just recorded a small segment and replayed it over and over.
It all makes sense now. The unnatural cries in the dark alleyway. A meticulous, calculated effort to ensnare an unsuspecting victim. Oh man, a soulless being on the planet are serial killers trying to hunt down their victim. What a shame.
Wait, hang on. Didn't Miss Kasumi go missing around that time?
Miss Kasumi used to teach Sayori and I a long time ago. What happened to her exactly? Sayori shrugs.
We were told that she moved away suddenly to work in a different part of the country, right? People used to spread really scary, horrible rumors about what happened to her, but they don't really make sense.
Hang on. She had a child of her own that year, didn't she? Oh glob, she did. Oh glob. And my parents wouldn't really discuss her whenever I asked. They were super dismissive of the whole thing. I always wondered why.
Oh my goodness.
Wait, you guys actually believe that? Well, I guess it's some sort of rumor that's been going around, Natsuki, so yeah, I guess. Everybody looks at Natsuki, shocked.
Oh, come on. There's no way you guys almost walked into a trap. Besides, it's just an urban legend.
What happened to your teacher then?
She just disappeared and Finn's parents refused to talk about it? I don't know about you, but that just seems pretty convenient for the story.
Well, there are maybe some things are better left off unanswered, huh? Although I do hope Sayori and I are just misremembering.
Well, on that cheerful note, how about we move on to the next story? I like to nominate Natsuki. My story? Natsuki, do you not have one? Hey, I never said that. I do, but it's just, I got it off the internet.
Well, at this day and age, I mean, stories come from the internet instead of books, but likewise, I still read books, and especially scary ones, so it's fine.
I don't like horror, so if it's bad, it's not my fault, okay?
Natsuki clears her throat.
Anyway, it's about these friends named Aoi and Narika. Basically, there was a rumor going around her high school about people seen going in and out an abandoned house on the outskirts of town. Most people thought they were just drug dealers, but some swore by the fact that the house was being used by a cult of some sort.
Oh my, cults. Scary.
Aoi and Nariko were pretty outgoing and adventurous, so they decided one night to check the place out. They get to the house and it's pitch black out. Luckily, Aoi had brought flashlights for the two of them. Naruko, on the other hand, brought a knife with her, just in case they ran into any trouble. They go inside and the place reeks. We're talking Finn's room levels of stink.
Really, Natsuki? Really? Do you want me to spin dash over you just for that? My room doesn't stink. But I get what you're going for, but that's definitely uncalled for. Hey! Everybody bursts out. Okay, I admit that was definitely funny, but still, I really feel attacked. Is that really necessary?
Sorry, I had to. Anyway, they look around for a bit. They find the door to the basement, stairs to the second floor, things like that. Finally, they go to the kitchen and find the source of the smell. There's some weed on the table, and it looks to be recently used.
What, did Snoop Dogg went there before and such? Because,
smoke weed every day.
Okay. That was pretty bad.
This confirms Aoi's suspicions that it's just a drug dealer and she wants to leave. Naruko, on the other hand, still wants to snoop around for a bit.
Like I said, Snoop Dogg.
They get into an argument with each other, with Naruko calling Aoi a coward because she thinks Aoi wants to leave since she's afraid of all the rumors. Then Naruko goes, "Yeah, well, if you're not afraid, then go down to the basement." Aoi gladly accepts and walks over to the basement door. As soon as she opens it, she feels a sharp pain in her neck, and before she can react, she gets pushed down the stairs. She tumbles down the stairs, and once she hits the bottom, she realizes she can't feel her legs. Her vision is blurred, but she can barely make out a figure standing at the top of the stairs with a knife. The last thing Aoi hears before she passes out is Naruko's footsteps as she descends down the stairwell, and an old, grizzled voice say, "This one will do nicely." The very next day, Naruko and Aoi called in sick. It's kind of a shame, really, because they miss out on all the talk about how someone heard strange, animal-like growls from the old, abandoned house on the outskirts of town. So yeah, I hoped you liked it or whatever. What happened to Naruko and Aoi at the end? They didn't die, did they? Use your imagination. Nice story, Natsuki. Cults usually provide a good fodder for horror stories. Indeed, I read quite a few novels involving cults.
Doesn't Portrait of Markov involve someone like that? Oh, does it? Or was it? I don't know.
Something similar, yes.
Speaking of Yuri and horror stories, how about you go next, Yuri? Ah yes, the horror fanatic. You should definitely go next.
Me? Alright then. Give it your best shot. You're walking alone, one pale autumnal night. The moon is graceful, casting her light down below like snowdrops. As you continue down your path, something shambles behind you. You turn around to look what it might be, but all you see is a cluster of leaves rustled by the pale air. Slowly returning, you notice the lights in every house around you going out, then flickering before fully extinguishing. With tentative steps, you advance towards one of them to investigate. Just as you're about to reach the window, you hear something snapping behind you, a broken twig that is all that remains. Uncertainty floating around inside your head, you subconsciously start walking faster, away from the suburbs. Eventually, you find solace in silence, the only sound being your heartbeat. It's quiet, nothing bad seems to be happening now. In fact, nothing at all seems to be happening. Confused, you look around and see that you're in front of your house in the street. No one is staring, nor there are any lights. Gently pacing towards your house, you go through the door. The lights are on, the television is on, but no one in sight. This is unusual. You were expecting your parents to be home tonight. Had they gone out without telling you? No, that couldn't be it. They always let you know where they'll be. You pull out your phone and open up your contacts to give them a call. However, there is no one is registered in there anymore. No matter how hard you try to remember, you can't call out to them. Suddenly, there is a heavy knock on the door. You peer through the keyhole, but see no one. Another knock. Another.
Another. Oh, Yuri, stop it with those creepy eyes.
You cautiously open the door, but there is still no one there. No one anywhere. How did this happen? Why are you alone? In the piercing silence so loud it fills the air? You do not know. There isn't any way for you to find out.
That's it? What a dumb story. Natsuki, please.
Nothing even happened. Where were the scary monsters and stuff? There is no greater fear than the unknown, Natsuki. Sharp claws can be prepared for. Enigmatic silence cannot. What's more fearful? Something you know is coming for you, or feeling safe when you're in fact not?
Quite a sober note to end your story on, Yuri. We can always count on you for a good horror tale, huh?
Anyway, I'll go next. Although, a scary story. Now that I think about it, I don't think I've come up with a ghost story before.
I haven't read too much horror stories either. Well, can relate sometimes, but that's okay. Well, I guess that isn't a surprise.
Just make up one then. It'll be fun. Well, I can't say I've tried that before. Are you trying to get out of a story? Of course not. Now that I think about it, there is one I've heard of.
Monika's expression turns serious. The mood of the room turns serious. She uses the same intensity she did for when she read her poems. Everyone quiets down. Before that, let me just do a quick stretch because man, this Halloween special is gonna get long and long, I guess. But hey, as long as you guys are enjoying, that's fine. So, you know what? Just for the fun of it, well, since I'm wearing shades at night and such, well, I don't know, but I guess I'll just take it off in the next one after this.
A number of years ago, Tanabata had come along as it does every year. It's the story of a lost little girl. Where am I? She cried. She cried and cried, hoping desperately she could find someone to help her. But the little girl was alone. Nobody could hear her. But just as all hope seemed lost, she heard a voice. Isn't the night wonderful? The girl looked up. Where before there was nobody was now a man in an elegant yukata. He wore what he looked like a gnome mask, but it was completely blank. Behind the man stood a stall, masks and lanterns of all sorts hanging from it. How rude of me, the man admonished himself. Welcome, dear customer. Your heart seems unhappy. Why not take a look at my wares? The man said as he gestured to the mask behind him. Please, take one that will bring a smile to your face. The girl looked at the masks. There were ones that looked frightening, ones that looked strange, ones that looked exotic, and many others. What about your mask, mister? The girl asked. I'm sorry, but this mask is very special. It's not for sale. The girl looked sad. Whoops. The girl looked sad. I like that mask. It looks really cool. The man laughed softly. It has been called many things, but this is perhaps the first time it has been called cool. Would you like a fruit? The man asked, picking one from the tree behind him. They're sweet and delicious. The girl reached to take it, but the man pulled his hand back. They're not for children. The girl was confused. But just tonight, it should be fine, he said as he offered his hand once again. In the festival of the night, children can become adults and adults become children. What? Okay. Is that true? Asked the girl, and the man assured her it was. The girl took the fruit and bit into it. It was unlike anything she had tasted before. It was almost overwhelming, but the taste was wonderful. It's good, the girl said happily. The man laughed again. I'm glad you think so. There's plenty, so please eat all you like. As she ate, the man took down a mask. What about this one? The girl took the mask. It looks like me, but she looks like a princess, the girl said in awe. What? Do you like it?
Please take it.
But what about money?
Asked the girl. I don't need money. Instead, I would like to be friends. Is that okay?
Of course, the girl agreed. From now on, we're friends.
I'm glad, the man said with gratitude. Why not put on your mask? The girl did so. She was overcome with a strange feeling.
Why was it?
She asked. At last. Long have I dreamt of this moment. My dear, my Eve, my only friend. The man smiled beneath his mask as he spoke as the light of the stars began to fade. For it is the festival of the night, where children become adults and adults become children. Let it be known. Another unconventional horror story, I see. Okay, that was, yeah, unconventional, yet weird. I have so many thoughts in my head about that one, but man, what the heck was that?
Yup, I guess monsterless horror stories are more popular than you think. I rather like the mysterious tone myself. It's very reminiscent of the style of Asian horror stories.
You guys have a weird sense of what's scary. I mean, this story isn't necessarily meant to scare you to death. Spirits don't have just to be frightening, you know? Well, it is Halloween. Aren't things supposed to be scary today?
But Halloween is fun too, not just scary.
Alright, you guys, break it up. Let's just all agree to disagree again. Monica smiles gratefully at me, while Natsuki shoots me a disgruntled look. Anyway, I guess it's my turn to tell a story. So this is something that actually happened to a friend of mine.
Oh, really?
Really? Yes, really. So it happened to be Sayori then.
Huh? This story is about me? Is that true, Finn?
What? No, it's not. Well, I really wish it could be, but unfortunately no, because of course. Sure, we could take the spotlight to our cinnamon bun, but of course we'll have to try something different.
Let's just get on with the story, shall we?
Right, anyway. So this friend of mine lived alone in an apartment building. She lived in the downtown area and loved to party all night, and one night he was out as usual. However, when he stumbled back home in the early hours of the morning, he realized that he'd lost his keys and was locked out of his apartment. So he ended up having to call his landlord, who was pissed at having to wake up in the middle of the night to let him back in. But in the end, he was able to get home safely, so that's all that matters, right?
I can certainly relate to that comforting feeling.
Right, but when he got inside, he noticed that his keys were actually on his nightstand, so he didn't lose them after all.
They weren't an extra set that his landlord sent him?
Nope, he was able to recognize them by the keychain he attached to it.
So, that's it?
Pretty much, yeah. Not gonna lie, pretty simple, but kinda effective.
What's so scary about that?
Well, I guess you haven't realized it yet. I guess you haven't realized it yet, huh?
What do you mean? The apartment was locked when he got back, right? Yeah, I got that part. But his keys were still in the apartment. So how do you suppose he locked them in? Huh? Someone must have gotten into his apartment and placed them inside, then locked the door themselves from the inside.
And the only sets of keys were my friend's and his landlord's, so...
Whoever it was who brought his keys back was still in the apartment when he got home. But who was it then?
He never found out.
Huh? You're gonna make me permanently paranoid. That was quite an enjoyable story, Finn. Although it was short, the realization at the end definitely made up for that. Plus, the story calls on the real fears of things like squatters, stalkers, and killers. Who knows, maybe one of us has a squatter living in our own home, hidden away, never to be found. Stop right there, I don't even want to think about it.
Okay, we'll stop there, Sayori. We're sorry.
Okay, that story wasn't half bad.
Heh, I'm glad you all liked it. I'll have to admit, this was pretty fun, guys. Well, had to admit either, it was really fun as well. So far, who knows when more stories to come when we get to the next part, I guess. And who knows, maybe someone out there might be watching you. It might be here or there. Who knows?